Hello everyone, I am back once again with another run for Contra Hardcore. So, remembering that not too long ago I actually showcased a playthrough for this game, and I actually managed to finish it, despite it taking me a rather long time to actually complete it, specifically because, like I mentioned in the first session of the playthrough, I actually have never played this game before, and therefore I was going to struggle a lot and, lose a lot of the time, game over a lot. So, yeah. But remember that after I finished the game, I actually mentioned how this game might actually not be too bad in terms of difficulty. It seems that way, if only because when you start the game, you're only able to start the game with 3 lives only, not 7 like in Contra 3, the Alien Wars. So because of that, there was actually some room to actually discuss whether or not this game is actually harder than Contra 3 on the hardest difficulty. So, but after playing it, yeah, it seems like if I actually don't know what I'm doing, which is basically the case for most Contra games, then obviously the game is going to be hard, honestly. But I think the game is actually, yeah, it's hard, but I don't know if it's harder than Contra 3 The Alien Wars, honestly. I think the game is longer than Contra 3 The Alien Wars, though. But I don't know if it's difficult, honestly. I don't want to assert anything yet. We also have to keep in mind that the game has multiple endings as well, as well as multiple routes to take. So maybe one of those could arguably be harder than Contra 3 The Alien Wars. But for the path that I took in my initial playthrough, I don't think it's that bad, honestly. In fact, I also mentioned that Super Contra was much more difficult, if only because in this game, a lot of the intricacies that it has they're not too egregious like Super Contra's was. So therefore, I think that game is still more difficult, despite it being arguably shorter than Contra Hardcore. That's just my opinion, though. Maybe others might think otherwise. And I'd be glad to listen to what they have to say, honestly. But yeah, so you're probably wondering, why am I playing this game again? Well, really, it's just to show you guys the true ending for this game. If I can, at least, because remember that in the last session, I actually only chose what was considered the bad ending because I actually chose to side with the villain this time around, so yeah, naturally I was gonna have a hard time wanting to play it over again in that very same session, because this game is already as hard as it is. So I figured, why not just play through it, the whole game once more, and in the meantime you can actually see how much better I've gotten at the game. Because when you saw my initial playthrough, you saw that I was just struggling like crazy, and right now, after finishing the game, I just did a couple more runs and boom, I was already pretty decent at the game. So that's actually kind of huge. And just kind of goes to show you how not so bad the game is, in terms of difficulty. It is difficult still, though, but, it's not too bad now that I've actually managed to play it and whatnot. So, yeah. So, like in my playthrough, I'm also going to still play the same character because I actually don't know what I feel about actually trying other characters. Remember that they all have different weapons and different strategies, therefore. So I'm just going to stick to what I've always used. And plus, this character is my favorite of all the characters in Contra, so I don't see why I wouldn't play as the character, But here we go. Well, this is the usual story. Security has been breached by an unknown hacker. And, yeah, we just have to see what's going on and whatnot. So, yeah, this is the first level. This is where my first, session started. And obviously, this is where I had to get a hold of the controllers and whatnot because, I was just playing the game for the first time and didn't really know what to expect. I always get nervous with new games because I usually don't know what to expect, and I always fear that I'm just going to get, wrecked a lot of the time. And this game still kind of throws me off a little bit, just because the patterns are not always the same. But it's not too bad. It just takes some getting used to. Remember that when it comes to commentating the game, it's also not that easy either. Especially for a game that's fast-paced as this. Oh yeah, another thing worth noting is that I'm actually, remember in my first session of the playthrough, I did mention that I was using the Super Nintendo controller to actually play this game? Well, right now, I'm actually going back to the GameCube controller, specifically because there's this mechanic that actually, I feel like it's easier to execute on the GameCube controller, that being the sliding kick attack that you get in this game, which is one of the new mechanics that this game introduces. Apparently it does damage to the enemies when you actually do it, and not to mention grants you invincibility, so you can actually dodge very difficult attacks in order to save yourself from sticky situations. I think that's another thing that can arguably make this game a lot more difficult, or not difficult, easier to play than Contra 3 The Alien Wars. And this is despite me using the original control scheme for this game on the game controller, but still it's the original control scheme. And that being that, remember how the Sega Genesis controller has like only 3 buttons on their controllers? 6 if you get like a later version of the game of the controller. But the original Sega controllers apparently only had 3 buttons, that being the A, B, and C buttons. So because of that, one button is to shoot, one is to select weapons, and one is to jump. However, there is one where you can actually shift whether you can shoot while running or lock in place while shooting. And to do that, I actually have to hold the shooting button and then the weapon select button in order to, you know, change the modes, the stands and whatnot when shooting, which is it kind of makes the controls a little bit clunky once again, kind of like the original arcade versions of Contra's 1 to 2. And I prefer to play it that way, just on the off chance I ever choose to like go out of my way to get a Sega Genesis to actually play the game on the original hardware. Want to make sure I have that in mind. But yeah, as you can see, I did die once, but I still got all my weapons, including the bomb. This is the unmanned robot. I'm pressing pause because I'm kind of forgetting how to like scroll through the text and whatnot. Okay, this part is still kind of unpredictable sometimes. This thing likes to mess with me a lot in terms of like when it likes to go for that stupid laser. Sometimes it shoots it once, but sometimes it also like shoots it multiple times, like more than once, like right here. So because of that, but there's times where it just shoots once, but I just don't remember how to like get that to work. Still gonna lose a little bit here. This run is not perfect, but I definitely have improved from compared to the initial playthrough, where I actually was dying a lot more. The goal is to try to make it at least with only 3 continues left, like I did in the last session. That way I can actually have enough like continues to probably survive the boss. Because not to mention, this is also a pretty lengthy game. Despite it having only 7 levels, it's actually pretty lengthy. But who knows? Maybe the other paths that you take might actually be either longer or maybe even shorter. Who knows? But this one, with if 7 levels is like the max, that'd be not too bad. I think what makes these feel long is just the fact that a lot of these levels are mostly just boss rushes, as opposed to actual, like, you know, actual platforming, which is what a lot of the other Contra games were mostly known for. Okay, let me see if I can get this stupid pattern, because there is a way to like get around this guy in a certain way, and it's usually when I have the laser weapon. Usually I position myself right here, start shooting the lasers right here, then shoot in close proximity, run away, shoot more lasers. Yeah, because something interesting about when you shoot the laser like in close quarters and right near the you know, like the edge of the screen, it for some reason shoots faster compared to when you shoot from far away, where it shoots a lot slower. So I'm trying to take that advantage of that as well. Jeez, I'm hard to talk, especially when it comes to fast-paced games like this. Gotta be careful with this, because yeah, never did it occur to me to do the sliding thing against this guy as well, which made beating this boss a little bit rough. Yeah, the usual Deadeye Joe's introduction. Now, because you know, you guys already saw how difficult it was for me to actually get around the levels in this game, and you just saw right now in this first level how difficult it was for me to actually survive the level. Because of that, I'm actually gonna stick to the original path that I picked back then, as opposed to actually choosing like a whole different path altogether, because if that happens, then once again I might actually not know what to do, and because of that I'm gonna like continue over and over and over again, and I'm gonna have to start splicing and splitting this run into sessions again, like I did with my initial playthrough, and it would just be like showcasing the playthrough all over again, which I'd rather just play like in one sitting, honestly, this time. And I'm hoping that I can actually survive up to the final stage. So yeah, instead of going after Deadeye Joe, I'm going to just go for the Research Center. I personally have faith that I can actually get Deathless in at least one of these paths, honestly. Maybe not all of the paths, but definitely at least one of them. And who knows, maybe a few others as well. Because again, this game doesn't feel too bad, honestly. Contra 3 felt a lot more stress-inducing, if only because there was not a whole lot of mechanics like the sliding kick thing. But this game is fast-paced. Probably slightly fast-paced than Contra 3. So that's probably why all these intricacies are added into this game. Maybe it's to help accommodate. This is the second level. This level also is kind of like, feels like a little nod to Contra 3's level 4. This part right here is like kind of like a, where you just shoot these guys, but you also have to dodge certain projectiles in a timely manner as well. This is all part of that whole pattern recognition thing that you get going in this game. Keep that in mind and you'll do fine in this game, despite it being relatively hard, yeah. Because that this game is hard is definitely hard. I'm not in no way saying that it's easy. Definitely not. It's definitely hard. It could be up there with Contra 3, but I just think so far it's not that bad. And I think it's arguably easier than Contra 3, if only because the patterns here are, you know, more predictable. There's still RNG moments here and there, but, you know, nothing too egregious. I think Contra 3 still had it kind of worse. But that's only for this particular route that I'm doing right now. Maybe in other ones there's actually a lot more of that or something. Maybe there are some paths that are much harder than others. I still don't know yet. Gotta watch out with this. Didn't occur to me to just lock in place like this so I don't have to run and dodge. Look at how easily I'm taking care of some of these bosses with the pea shooter of all things. Oh, and that's another thing that makes this game arguably easier than Contra or Super Contra on the arcade, is that unlike in Super Contra where you only have the pea shooter and you have to mash every time, here in Contra Hardcore, yeah, it's a hard game still, but you at least get the machine gun as the default weapon. You don't get that in Super Contra by any means. So yeah. Close quarters, use the laser, it shoots faster. If you do it from far away, it's still pretty slow. These guys run funny for some reason. They're like, we gotta run. And I think it's funnier when they're just quiet and they're just running away like quickly. I still can't believe I actually did this. And, you know, freaking this doctor turned out to be a fucking traidor. Because you saw in my playthrough, in my initial session of this playthrough, that I actually was so like I kind of cared for this dude. That was the reason I even decided to rescue the research center as opposed to going after Deadeye Joe. Because I didn't give a fuck about no stinking Deadeye Joe. I felt like I probably would have run into him again anyway. And I did, which was interesting. So this game, yeah, it has some platforming here, but it's not a lot. In fact, the platforming just lasts like for maybe a few seconds, and then it just goes back to just boss rushes galore, which is kind of interesting. It does kind of make me miss the platforming a little bit though, even though it is present in this game too, just not to the extent Contra 3 had it. I think the only level in Contra 3 where it felt mostly like a boss rush, it was level 4 and level 6. But they had their means of platforming. And I think the boss rushing in level 6 for Contra 3 was like towards the end. Because initially there was a number of platforming at the start of the level. Like the first half of the level. See, this boss, because of those stupid arms, I always thought that there was like no way to easily dodge this thing. But apparently you could just sit here and these arms will just not do anything. You just gotta make sure you dodge the orbs. This was one of the bosses that was like killing me a lot in my initial playthrough. This third level was also pretty nasty, honestly. But again, only because I did not understand the patterns. But once you get it, it's kind of like, it's almost a slice of pizza, honestly. But this is a game that feels like the game rewards you when you actually take the time to understand this game. Once you do, it feels very smooth. That even if this game were quote-unquote easy, it would still be fun to play. Because there are games that are relatively easy and they can get kind of boring pretty quickly. But this game is still relatively hard even if you beat it and understand the game to a T. It's kind of like Contra 3 in the sense, actually, that it's hard, but once you understand the game, it's pretty fun. Although I still think Contra 3 might be harder. If only because of the aforementioned RNG that goes on in that game, and goddamn. See, mild platforming here, and it's not even that much, honestly. Oh, this was another boss that was giving me issues, but little did I realize that I could just lock in place right here and use the little, the grenade launcher right here. This character is actually like diagonal like this, so this allows me to have a specific range. But the range is short. But look at how quick it takes care of this boss. Whereas back then it would actually like give me trouble because I didn't know what to do. Oh yeah. Make sure you have running gunning for this. I don't like these drone guns because they actually shoot in a way like where they kind of shoot preemptively in one direction. And if you go in that same direction as where they shoot, then you basically screw yourself over. Yeah, I'm gonna use this to play it safe. I'm not feeling risky right now. Especially since I want to get to the end before, like, losing a lot of continues. Here, I'm going to switch to the B again, the B weapon, the grenade launcher. This boss was, you definitely saw in my playthrough that this boss was just a nightmare, honestly. Especially because I did not know what to do. And it's still kind of hard even right now. This is one of those bosses that even if you know what you're doing, it can still be a little bit off-putting. If only because of how unpredictable it can be sometimes. I also messed up on this too. So I'm hoping I can kind of... yeah. This is the only rough part when enemies like these where they force you to do this sliding kick thing. If you mistime that, you can kind of screw yourself over. Not to mention choke it at times. Because that choking has been the story of my life with this game. Like, there's moments where it seems like I'm doing so well, but then I just choke it and then I just blow it all together. In fact, I think the way I got that first continue in level 1 right now was basically a choke. Like, I lost a life and then I was like, oh shit, and then I just started losing a lot because of it. But now I'm just playing, like I've played this game numerous times or something. And in reality, I think I've only played it like a good 10 times, which is a lot less than what I've done for Contra 3. Oh shit. Need to change my weapons. That's another thing I need to do, focus in this game, because focusing is required here. Oh. Oh shit. Yeah. I was trying to, but I was not being mindful. What was I supposed to do there? There was like literally nothing I could do there. There was nothing I could do there either. This game is screwing me over. Again. And this is going to be rough because I don't got the laser now. Yeah, no, I can't do that without the laser. What am I supposed to do here? You know what? Yeah, because, like, there's no way I can do that with this. I lost a lot of my weapons because, once again, this pattern was kind of weird. Yeah, I got to do this right here because that's, like, the way you can actually take care of this thing as easily as possible. And I did it the wrong way, goddammit. Let's see if it doesn't screw me over now. Oh, fuck. God damn it. There, jeez. If I had the beefed up version of the machine gun, this thing would have gone down much sooner. Yeah, this boss is still pretty difficult. But it be what it be. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. One thing I need to do between every level is know which position I'm gonna actually have when it comes to shooting, whether it be the running gun or the lock in place. Because if I don't do that, then obviously I'm gonna screw myself over in the next level. And you're gonna see what I mean right now. If you haven't seen it already. This is Colonel Muhammad, the villain in this game. Gonna find him in the jungle. Contra 1 reference, perhaps. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Shift to weapons, because, yeah. Of course. Gotta watch out with those hammers. Right now, I only got 1 life left. But I want to at least get as far as I can into the level before I go down. Maybe get past the first checkpoint here. Because it seems like each level has a checkpoint. It's in your interest to get it so that you don't have to start from the very beginning. Using these homing spread shots is actually pretty good in this level. That's probably the reason the level issues it to you. Something I learned about this boss is that you can go to the left side here. Usually left is always bad, but in this particular instance, it's probably the best thing you can ever do. And it's so that you don't have to do absolutely anything when this thing grabs this bridge. You just stand right here and you just shoot with the homing spread shot. Because for some reason here, in order to actually shoot this thing at all, you actually have to use the long jump. You know, like the higher jump. Because remember that I mentioned that this game has that intricacy of like low jump, high jump. You have to use the high jump to actually shoot him every once in a while. Which is, again, pretty difficult. Okay. This is going to be scary. Because these things sometimes come at an unpredictable space, like right there. I need to know where these things are coming from. Okay, right there. Oh, they're right there. I gotta dodge right now. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, right there. Something you want to be extremely careful right here is this. This dinosaur, for some reason, if you shoot him right here, like somewhere down here, below his head, he actually shoots out some kind of like, I don't know, fire mucus or something? Dragon breath? I don't know. But, yeah, you just gotta keep that in mind. I actually recently learned about this when I actually was rewatching some of the reviews for Contra Hardcore. Apparently, if you shoot this right here, boom, you die. So, you don't want to end up ever doing that. Okay, here's where I want to use the beefed up version of the machine gun, because it's what deals the most damage here. I don't know if shooting this thing before it gets up actually allows you to kill this thing early. But I just shoot it anyways, on the off chance that's the case. Watch out with this fire. But shoot, so that no time is wasted. Watch with this. Yeah. Yeah, watch out. Ooh. Oh, shoot, I messed up on that. And I didn't get to the first checkpoint, did I? I don't think so. So I'm going to have to redo what I did earlier. Still got 4 continues though. But at the very least 3 continues is what I want for before I get to the final level. Otherwise it's going to be really, really hard. And of course, I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting. The hammers here always throw me off for some reason. But maybe that's just because I'm not used to this this game yet. I understand the patterns, but it's still just kind of like difficult to get used to still. Okay, so yeah, here are these little bugs. Dodging these with any other weapon is difficult, so I rely on the spread shot for this. Same thing. I guess that's the only good thing about this, is that this is not too bad once you get the hang of it. Here I don't have to press literally anything. I just have to hold the shooting button, which is another cool thing about this game. All you need to do is hold the shooting button. The only downside to holding the shooting button though is that you need that in order to actually shift the positions of your shooting. It's not like you can lock in place and aim before you shoot. You actually have to shoot while you're positioning yourself, which is kind of insane. But if this game is set to be as hard as it is, then maybe it's a blessing that this is what they have. It would have been amazing if this game actually had the controls for Contra 3, where you can use the shoulder buttons to aim. But I kind of get why that's not the case, obviously. It's because it's a Sega Genesis game, and the Sega Genesis controller didn't have shoulder buttons. Only 3 buttons to do literally everything. Oh, I don't even know. Oh shit, I gotta watch out. I gotta make sure I don't shoot that, honestly. Okay, again, the machine gun is really all I need here. That's probably why this game, or this level actually gives you that weapon. Because it knows that this is what you're going to need if you happen to make it this far. Use the sliding here. Dodge this, stay crouched. Shoot as much as you can. Dodge this thing as much as you can. Okay. I actually got this thing much sooner than usual. This is why I use the machine gun. When I use the laser or even the bombs, it actually takes a lot longer to take this thing out for some reason. In this game, when it comes to taking out the bosses, I think just knowing which weapons to use against which bosses actually helps you a great deal. Yeah, look at that. Use the position button to actually change your position so you can lock in place and actually shoot from one spot. Change again when you don't need it. Right here, shoot as much as you can. Yeah, shoot as much as you can, because these things throw out projectiles that kill you. They're very difficult to dodge as well. Even though I game over twice, I still got all my weapons at this position. The only thing I don't got is a bomb, but that's fine. Lasers required here because it's supposedly your most powerful weapon here in your arsenal. Here's where I run into Deadeye Joe. This boss battle is also like, if I try to get deathless for this game, this will probably be one of my death zones, and you're gonna find out why in a bit right now. Because everything else that I've dealt so far is actually doable with, like, you know, without you know, any worry when you're trying to go deathless. Maybe the level 3 boss where you have to deal with that helicopter, that's probably the only thing that could be very difficult, but everything else is pretty doable. And then here with this boss with Deadeye Joe, it's also pretty scary. Specifically because right here, like, you know how this thing turns into like a helicopter once you get to like the vertical scrolling of this of the level right here, because apparently for some reason you actually have to worry about dodging this thing. But the way this thing like starts slamming itself into the wall is very unpredictable. Like, it seems to be RNG based. I don't know if there is like a way to manipulate how this thing approaches you, but so far it seems RNG based, which means if you get hit by this thing, then you just die. So that could screw your deathless run up if you ever try to do that. Thankfully, this game seems to have that little technique where you jump while climbing walls from Contra 3. That's something that wasn't present in Contra 4, which I'll admit was a missed technique that I had, because I actually was a huge fan of that technique. It actually make you look pretty badass. Watch out with this thing flailing around because it can kill you, obviously, so you gotta stay as far away from it as possible. Here I like to switch the bombs and then switch my position so that I can shoot them from up here. Then do the sliding thing right there and then just start shooting as much as you can. Here's the other part, which can be RNG based as well, and if you're unlucky you might actually get like the more horizontal approach against you, and you can actually die because of it. Thankfully I didn't have to worry about it here, but it can happen. Gotta watch out with this guy going wheelie mode. Shift to the homing missiles right here because this thing is going to be shooting out these little homing missiles of its own, and they're kind of hard to dodge, and to shoot them with the other weapons is actually also difficult. So yeah, don't want to mess around with that. Just play it safe. I was looking at Ray Power's weapons as well, and he, interestingly enough, has a spread shot of his own, and it's the traditional spread shot, so that's kind of interesting. He also has homing weapons as well, and that's kind of what they look like, the ones that Deadeye Joe is using right now. Only difference is that Deadeye Joe shoots them much slower, whereas Ray Power shoots them somewhat like a machine gun, kind of like what they were in Contra 3, the Alien Wars. Here, this level feels like a conveyor belt. But in reality, the only thing we need here... Now, this part of the level, I was for a while just kind of like curious or like confused as to how to take care of this thing. It almost seems like you couldn't take it out without losing a handful of lives. But apparently, you could actually just do the sliding thing under here, use the long jump, and then like go over here and do the same thing again. But I did not know that. I thought that red stuff was actually going to kill you if I tried crossing it over from above. But apparently not. You just simply slide right here, go right here, go right here. This doesn't kill you, which I thought it did. And you just do this over and over again until you actually, you know, take care of them. Oh, shoot. But you gotta watch out when you accidentally, like, drop like that. I was trying to shoot him down like this, but instead I clicked the jump button and that ended up screwing me over. That's the one thing I'll admit that I actually struggle with in this level is the inadvertent choking when trying to shoot downwards, because I sometimes press jump. Just gotta give it a few shots and then that's it, and then drop. Because when this thing bounces around, you actually can get killed because of it. Gotta be really careful. Yeah, I gotta keep doing this. Gotta keep an eye for when this thing starts getting its laser ready. Go down here. It takes a while to take care of. I think with the machine gun I could have gotten this done faster, but I was a little imprudent. I want to switch to the laser, but I don't want to accidentally click jump again. There we go. I'm going to try to use the laser more, because the laser is the other alternative when dealing with this thing as quickly as possible. There we go. Whew! And I still got 3 of my weapons left, which is pretty neat. I'm actually going to stick with the laser. See, if I tried going any other route, I was probably going to have a lot of continues lost. I probably would have game over like even more times than what I am right now. This is the part where the doctor turns out to be a deceiver. I will give credit to the villain for like him not backstabbing him like I thought he would, because I'll be honest with you, I thought Colonel Bahamut was gonna betray the doctor one of these days, but apparently he never did. He just ended up getting himself killed. Unless maybe one of the other paths would actually suggest that, maybe, or like maybe in the other paths that I choose, maybe he would actually have done that as well. I don't know. But in this path, no. He becomes his own undoing, basically. We're gonna fight to the end. I do like the music in this level. This is like one of the few tracks that actually feels like you're in danger, but it also feels very like catchy and all like Dance Dance Revolution like or something. In fact, this music actually feels something that you would listen to in Cuphead, where the music goes all crazy because you're doing boss rushes. For those who don't know what Cuphead is, it's basically a game that was like inspired by Contra, that takes advantage of using the 1930s art style from cartoons, but basically it's a Contra game in the 1930s, which is kind of interesting. Oh shoot, I got myself murdered for some reason. Shit. Unpredictable patterns, but this is fine. Losing a couple weapons here is not too bad. I just need the bomb. The bomb or the laser is actually an important weapon to have here, because these things can help you with these villains. Have a weapon ready here, so because this thing right here is gonna actually give you some free weapons. Although don't come into physical contact with that thing though, because that thing will take you out and you will pay for it dearly. Look at that. Just like that, I get all my weapons back, which is kind of nice. See, the professor's even generous. Well, maybe not really. Maybe that was an accident on his part. Oh shoot, oh shoot. Oh shoot. I don't think I was supposed to... Oh shoot, I keep forgetting about that. Yeah. I was supposed to pull out the bombs, but I kind of didn't, because I was shooting, but I felt like if I didn't shoot that thing immediately, I was gonna lose it, and I did, kind of. Okay, but I still got the bombs, which is nice. Here's where the machine thing that he's using to create all of his experiments, it goes haywire. He creates one final experiment, and it's this one, but this one ends up killing him. It's eating him alive. And I'm just like, no, Professor, don't die. You deserve justice. But, you know, that didn't happen. Oh, shit. Gotta watch out right here. Just shoot this thing as much as you can. Otherwise, you won't be able to. Dodge these things while you can. Shoot this thing as much as possible. You'll be fine. Boom. Although, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'll be able to make it to the next level without dying. Because this is the other level that has like these scary bosses. Although now I'm kind of familiar with the patterns for this one, but it's still kind of difficult to deal with. If only because if I don't take care of these things as quickly as possible, it does become a little bit of a hassle. You gotta shoot these things as soon as you see them. Whoop, right there. Shoot as much as you can. There we go. Before it starts doing anything else. As soon as you hear a jingle, start shooting. The music once again sounds very funky, which is kind of funny. Despite the music sounding kind of corny for an action game, I'll admit it, it's still pretty it's pretty catchy. Like, I do like it. Okay, we're gonna try to shoot this thing. We gotta dodge this thing. Recognize the patterns. Oop, yeah. That was supposed to be a slide. I don't know why I didn't slide. I hate when I don't slide. Right there. I was supposed to slide right there and it just didn't slide for some reason. Whoop. That's another difficult thing that I have to deal with when it comes to this game, is that sometimes I try to slide and instead of getting the slide I just jump and then I end up jumping into an enemy's hands, which is super annoying. This is where the music gets kind of insane. Had to use the machine gun for this. I only got 1 life left, annoyingly enough, because I ended up blowing it. Oh, that was a different pattern that I did not expect for some reason. Usually they do that after like doing a few flips, but for some reason it didn't happen. So I got only 2 continues left, which is a little annoying because that means that now if I end up making it to the end and am not able to take out the boss at the final level, then I'm pretty much going to be in for it. But we're going to see what we can do. Maybe I'll be lucky and I'll actually be able to destroy before anything. But I got to make sure I get these weapons. Make sure you lock in place because that's kind of important. Jump and start shooting this thing. See, those were the flips I was expecting, but initially. That one, that's what I was expecting before he did that whole jump it thing. Right here, I gotta make sure I shoot these homing missiles. Once he gets, like, backs out, that's when he starts to, like, do the flips again. And then that's when he goes off screen and does that insane jump right here. This is the usual pattern I have to deal with when dealing with this guy. But this time he mixed it up. I think that's the thing with Contra Hardcore is that sometimes they do mix up the patterns. Okay, here's another one that's kind of confusing. But I kind of get it as well. I just got to be lucky and got to make sure how to position myself well. So that way I don't get hit by any of this thing's attacks. Oh, okay, it did a weird approach, but... Again, it's very hard to, like, kind of know when they're doing things by the book. I think I should have went with the other weapon because I think the homing whistle, the homing weapons is kind of weak on the weaker side. Okay, wait. Okay, there we go. I wasn't really sure which pattern he was gonna go with. This one also has an off-screen approach that can kind of do you in. So I'm kind of just hoping it doesn't go for that. There we go. Got another life, thankfully, which is nice because I kind of need the lives here. The only problem is that now I kind of don't got a lot of weapons. This final phase is actually kind of difficult, especially because of this. Oh, yeah, right there. Oh, yeah, okay. I was trying to like stay in one place, but I couldn't do it. Okay, I gotta be careful. Be careful. Oh, okay. Now I gotta shoot as much as I can before things get kind of crazy. Oh, okay. I tried to jump before he did that, and it was too fast. This is a really hard level. This one's a pretty baffling one too, but it's not as bad. This one is the one I hate the most. It's too claustrophobic. Oh. And sometimes it kind of like schmixes you sometimes too. Like, like right there. Wow. This dude did it up close, which was kind of insane. Okay, I think that's it right there. Yeah. I made it to the final level, but with 0 lives and with only 1 weapon. One that I could get already in the final level. So that kind of blows. No laser, no grenade launcher, and no... Well, actually I can get the beefed up version of the machine gun. But that's it. Okay, there we go. Just shoot everything else with the weapon. And of course I blew it. And that was my last life too. Dang it. But the weapon quantity would have been the same regardless. Let's see if I can get this one. Okay, there we go. This is what should have happened, but for some reason it didn't happen. Even when you expect the outcomes to just come out the way you want them, they just kind of don't. It'd be that way. Okay, there we go. See, very little platforming you get in this game, and then out of nowhere you're back to boss rush galore. It's kind of crazy how this is the phase you deal with in the final level. take care of the circle. I think it's important that I don't lose any of my weapons here, which can happen. Gotta watch out with this. There we go. This final phase could be a little annoying, if only because you have to use that sliding attack to your advantage. Oop. Oop. You have to know when to do it, because if you mistime that, you pretty much screw yourself over. There we go. I think right here is where you want to do it. Right there. This actually requires focus, because otherwise this happens. Okay, damn it. I lost the machine gun before I got to the final boss. Oh boy. Yeah. You didn't think you'd make it, but I did. Basically, this is why I wanted to redo this level again, or this game again. Because now we're going to see what happens if I refuse. You stubborn buffoon, prepare to die. So that's what he says. See, I told you that he was going to be all like, how dare you? Now you're going to lose, or something like that. Which might happen because, unfortunately, I don't got a lot of lives, and I don't got a lot of weapons. And the homing missile is weak. You see, that was a sudden attack, and I just somehow had to deal with that. Also, that's a pretty fast attack. Damn, see what I told you? Like, that's just, how am I supposed to deal with that? These are all, like, fast attacks. But this is basically what I was fearing. That I'm going to have, like, so many issues with this boss. Because I've never dealt with this in my life. And I lost my weapon. And this one, too. Well, I guess I'm going to have to do that whole thing again where I, like, splice and make it to the end. Hopefully with a lot more lives than usual. I'm going to try to dodge these things without even trying to, like, get in on them. There we go. Okay, if we could just screw those things together, that'd be nice. But unfortunately, I lost a life and I couldn't get the 2 weapons, so this continues basically for naught. Gonna see what I can do, but maybe get a feel for this guy's patterns, but that's pretty much all I can do at this point. Okay, here we go again. This time I've made it this far, like 1cc style, basically. There's no way I can lose now, right? If I'm like in my last 2 lives, I have a lot of bombs this time, so I'm just gonna blow them all up here. Refuse. Stubborn. Damn it. Okay, I tried to roll away, but I couldn't. Ugh, you've beaten me, but this will be no victory for you. When I die, a missile armed with the alien cell will take off. Oh, great. You will see the world burn in the flames of hell. Ugh. Oh, so I defeated Colonel Muhammad. But it's not the end yet. Oh shit, it's another boss rush. I honestly thought that would be the end. Okay. Then what the hell do I got? This is the final battle with Dead-Eye Joe! The Colonel is already dead. Stop this foolishness. I could care less about the Colonel. I'm going all the way. The craziness of Dead-Eye Joe. Oh, great. Oh, boy. Okay, that's scary. I have to dodge this guy while going through those platforms? Insane. Insane. But I'm gonna assume this is a checkpoint, basically. Yep, it's a checkpoint. Okay, so I had to just basically beat Dead-Eye Joe once more, and I don't even know how I'm supposed to. I really thought if I just beat Bahamut, it would be over, but damn. the colonel's already. Shoot. What I want to know is if Deadeye Joe himself kills you on physical contact. Oh shit. These moving platforms actually cancel out your dash, and this is weird. God damn. You know, that D weapon would have actually been worth it here actually. But damn, I did not know that this was gonna still be a continuation of it all. That was pretty much the only reason I even ended the first session of my playthrough, or the first run of my playthrough, was because I thought, I'll just simply play it again by beating Colonel Bahamut, but apparently it wasn't going to be over from there. Yeah, no, I did find it odd that Deadeye Joe is still, like, out and about, but apparently he's the one I had to play against as the final boss. And it makes sense, because he's actually been, like, an enduring villain throughout this whole run. But yeah. Okay, it seems like... Okay, I couldn't react to that one. Ah! These things are so awkward. Okay. Goddamn. So there's that. What's his ultimate phase? The ultimate phase? Ooh. Ooh. Jump, I did. I like how the game tells you to jump, because otherwise it'd be pretty full. Wait, how do I get these weapons? How do I get the weapons? How am I supposed to get the weapons? Was I supposed to bullseye them? Probably. But goddamn. Gotta beat Deadeye Joe yet again. This is an even more insane missile fight than the one from Contra 3. Or am I lying to myself? Damn it, I'm trying to time that one, but I can't. Okay, there he goes. Lost only one life this time. Oh shit. Oh shit. Jump? Yeah. I gotta wait. And I don't get them, because I'm dumb. I got the laser. Oh shit. Oh shit. What's going on here? Oh shoot. Okay, how am I supposed to deal with that? Okay, how do I deal with that? God damn. How in the hell do I deal with that? Nah, it's because this turned out to be much longer than I thought, honestly. God damn. This is why I'm glad I took the same route, honestly. If I tried switching it up, this would have taken a lot longer than I expected. Because right now I have to figure out this pattern, too. Oh, god damn it. I tried to... Fucking shit. This level is too savage. And I kind of have to figure out the pattern of freaking Colonel Bahamut. Because the way he fights is also pretty fast. Damn it. I really wish... Okay, it seems like the bombs might actually be the way here. But I gotta know how to use them. Okay, there's that. It's not over yet, though. Did I Joy's back? No, it's just a snake. Okay, how do I get rid of that? Okay. Oh. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Did we finally take him out? Oh great. More shit. This is so like Cuphead, honestly. Oh shit. Oh, but that was my last life. God damn it. Okay, so far a lot of that did not look too bad. Again, it's just a matter of knowing the damn patterns. But this final one, I have to know the pattern to this too. And I'm hoping that's the last thing, because if this still continues, then holy shit. So both Colonel Bahamut and what's his name are just dead here. Oh boy. Can I like not die this time? Oh. Oh. I did it again. Because Deadeye Joy is a resilient prick. Okay, there he goes. But I died once, so that is unfortunate. The bomb is actually very useful here, the grenade launcher. I just need to know the damn patterns of these enemies. Oh, I didn't get the last one. Laser would have been really, really useful here. But now I'm going to have to blow it. Oh, shoot. I forget that I'm a little... Okay, now we're in trouble, though. This is very akin to Contra 3, the Alien Wars, but... This is insane work. I like how the music just changes too. Every time I'm facing a different face. Oh shit, I didn't think it would hit me, but it did. Fuck. Oh shit, I killed myself. Man, I don't know how I'm supposed to dodge that. Finally, I beat him with fucking 2 lives still. God. Hopefully now I can figure out what the freaking pattern is to that stupid boss, though. That final phase looks kind of complicated. And I still don't know if locking in place is even the play. Oh my god, are you serious? I was trying to slide off the other side and I went the other way instead. Shish kebabs. Now I'm gonna be in the same situation basically. All because I choked that stupid shit. It's because I cannot even reach that with these bombs. Oh yeah. I'm starting to get somewhat the pattern. A little bit. Might still be 50-50, who knows. Okay, can I like not choke it like I did last time? Because that would be stupid if I did. Make sure those weapons are well aligned, and of course, nah. This is lame. That is actually hilarious. Okay, that's so stupid. Couldn't I just do that? Oh boy. I mean, either way, I still lost a lot of lives to Lord Bahamut, though. So, hurt me on that front. It probably would have been the same shit, honestly. Just with more weapons, and I get 3 of those weapons back anyway. Oh, god damn it. It's because the bombs they're good for the freaking leeches, but they're not good for the freaking thingamabobber. Oh my god, I can't even jump? I'm gonna have to now see if laser works. Oh my god. I was trying to dash or slide or whatever. It didn't work out for some reason. That alien cell needs to be taken care of. Kind of wondering if the D weapon would work well here, but I've never gotten to this point without it, or with it, I should say. Oh boy, this thing. Oh, and that was my last life. I forgot. Fucking shit. I just need lives. Can I fucking beat this guy? Can I, like, not get, like, steamrolled here somehow? Fuck. I got in the same damn position. I thought I could do it, and I couldn't. The only difference is that I got at least one bomb here, but if I die anywhere before I get to that final boss, that's pretty much over. Are you kidding me? I literally lost it. Not that it matters here, but like, I literally lost it here just for that. So it's basically gonna be the same shit. Okay, give me the B. I didn't get the B. Okay, rip me. And that was kind of the weapon I needed. None of these shits give me lives, which is kind of annoying. Bahamut is still a pain in the fucking ass, though. Because his pattern is like one of the ones that are not very predictable. What's left? Oh my god, I finally got the goddamn ending. Holy shit. Tell me that's the end. Or is there still more shit to do? Hey brother, sorry to keep you waiting. Thanks for the hand at the final moment. Good job. You're in a hero's welcome. Okay, cool man. But goddamn. On my last life too. I prevented the alien wars from happening. Boy, that was insane though. God damn. That was the most insane I've ever dealt with right now. And there we have it. Because we now got the true ending, now we get to see the credits for this game. But man. Okay, once again, if you want my honest opinion, I still think this game is not that bad to beat, especially Deathless. Because again, it's all a matter of memorization for a bunch of the boss battles. Although I have a feeling that maybe with age, this game could progressively get harder, honestly. If only because it requires memorization. And if you guys know me, you guys know that I'm not very, like, good on the memory side. Like, lately I've been very forgetful about a lot of things, but I don't know. At the same time, also, if I dedicate myself enough to something, I usually tend to remember a lot of things, especially if it's something that stands out to me a lot. But yeah. I'm glad that I got this as well, honestly. So I was able to get the bad ending and the good ending for Contra Hardcore. So, again. And I did this very, like, relatively quick. Compared to Contra 3, the Alien Wars, which took me, like, over the course of, like, maybe 8 years to finish, to accomplish the hardest setting. This only took me, like a month or two, I'd say. Yeah, like a month or two to beat this game, honestly. So... But I don't know if it's also just because I'm like under a lot of momentum right now for playing the previous Contra games, which include the first Contra from 1987, Contra 1988 for the NES, Super Contra, Super C, Contra 3, the Alien Wars, Contra 4, and right now Contra Hardcore. So it's like, maybe that's why I'm also like just feeling it real good right now. Good job. Damn right. And there's the first good ending that I ever got, honestly. But, yeah, it is what it is. Final score. It's kind of like Contra 3 where you get the final score at the end of the game. This game doesn't have any like difficulty settings like I mentioned in my initial playthrough for this game. So obviously there's no like you beat easy mode, now do normal mode, then do hard mode. No, it's just you beat this game once, and regardless of what ending you get, this is how it ends, I guess, which is good to know. So yeah, and like I said before, this game, while it is hard in its own way, I think Contra 3 might still be harder. I can see why people think this game is harder though than Contra 3, if only because for one thing, there's more stages than Contra 3. I think the stages also feel relatively long, if only because a lot of them involve surviving a bunch of boss rushes, which is relatively difficult. Yeah. On top of that, there's also the story mode that actually you know, like the story mode, you know, like the story, the dialogue between like, you know, your superior as well as like all the other characters in the game, which kind of halts your momentum after going like crazy and whatnot. And that's something you cannot like control. This is something that you'd actually have to you have to sit through basically. It's kind of like in Contra 3 where in the level 3 you know, that mini boss, the one that has like those two drills. Notice how there's like that one part where you're kind of like forced to wait until you get to like a certain point, and then that's when you get to fight him one last time. Well, it's something like that, honestly, where you're just kind of forced to sit there and wait to see what the dialogue has to say and all that stuff, which can halt momentum for some players, honestly. I'm not sure if I fall into that category, if only because I'm always somebody who's very, very story driven. In fact, I think that's one of the reasons why I was like super invested in this game too, honestly. I just wanted to see how it all ended. And considering there's branching paths, there's a chance I might actually be interested in exploring the other ones. Although I'm not really sure if I'm gonna wanna do like another like live commentary playthrough of this game with all those other paths, honestly. If only because of how difficult it was for me to memorize all the patterns and get to this point. This final boss was also just a savage, honestly. So chances are that if I actually ever cover those other paths, it'll probably be when I try to actually you know, like get deathless for this game or something. So yeah, but yeah, so that's Contra Hardcore once again, this time with the good ending like I said before. And yeah, this game, even though I played it once again and with the same path as the last as my initial playthrough, the game is still pretty fun, honestly. Like I thought I'd probably get bored of it once I got the ending, but no, it's still pretty fun, honestly. Would I prefer this over Contra 3 The Alien Wars though? I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of misses the platforming that Contra 3 had, that Contra Hardcore does have, but not to the extent that Contra 3 has. And that's kind of what makes me wish that you know, that kind of makes me wish that Contra Hardcore would have like had, honestly. But you know, this game still has good stuff, honestly. It has like like it's presented pretty well. Like it's got that nice story with all the dialogue, all the interesting characters. I do love my fan service Blondie, obviously. Like I like that too. If Contra 3 had Sheena as a character, I probably would prefer that game over Contra Hardcore any day of the week. So probably, I don't know, maybe I prefer Hardcore, honestly. Maybe. I don't know. I still like Contra 3 though, and I still think that game might be more harder than Contra Hardcore, so it is what it is. But I still think Super Contra is even harder than Contra 3 and Contra Hardcore, if only because both of these games, both Contra 3 and Hardcore, they both have at least the machine gun as your default weapon, as opposed to mashing with the pea shooter, which is pretty difficult. And with a game that's kind of fast paced like Super Contra, it's very difficult to keep up with that game, even though it's only a very short game with only 5 levels, compared to the lengthy levels that Contra 3 and Contra Hardcore have. So yeah, it is what it is. But anyways, with all that said, all that rambling aside, thank you all for watching this run of Contra Hardcore once again. I'm looking forward to trying to get deathless for at least one of the paths in this game, so hope you fellas look forward to this as well. But for now, hope to catch you fellas for another video that I decide to showcase. And for now, just take it easy and have yourselves a good one.